How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise, noise, noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, Gid-dap, and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's 5 babies.
5 little Whos. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present, pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Should we do one more? Yeah. Jingle Bells. Okay, so this one is a fun one. When we see the red letters, we're going to sing it, okay? Okay. So when we see the red. So let's start. Dashing through the snow comes the bear family in a one-horse open sleigh. There's Papa Bear and Mama Bear and 2 baby bears. Look at the snow. That's fun. O'er the fields we go, shouts Papa Bear, cracking his whip, and the sleigh glides down over the snowy fields. Laughing all the way, the baby bears sing Christmas carols and nibble on cold plum pudding. Hubert Horse loves to pull the sleigh. He flicks his bobtail merrily, and the baby bears sing, bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. And dashing along they go. Now they're in Rabbit Warren, a cozy little town, and the rabbits and their friends come out to say, hello, come aboard, says Papa Bear. We're going for a ride. And Cuddly Bunny and 3 bunny sisters hop onto the sleigh. Patrick Pig and his friend Katie Kitten hop in. Then comes Dennis Dog and Stuart Seal and Richard Raccoon. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight, says Esmeralda Ostrich, and she too hops aboard and starts singing. She does not sing very well, but nobody minds because it is Christmas. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. That's a sleighing song they sing. O'er the fields they go, wrapped in their furs. All of a sudden, stop, says a voice. Who can it be? It's a man with a white beard in a red suit and big black boots with a sack over his shoulder. It's Santa Claus. Help, says Santa Claus. I'm too tired to walk anymore. What happened? Asked Papa Bear. My reindeer all caught cold, and their mother has put them to bed. With bed socks and tea, I hope, says Mama Bear. Yes, says Santa gloomily. Well, hop aboard. There's plenty of room, says Papa Bear. And Santa hops aboard, sack and all. Soon he is merrily singing the sleighing song. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And so for the first time, Santa makes all his visits in a one-horse open sleigh. He brings Tommy a toy train, and Dora gets a doll.
Where's Dora?
It doesn't show her. She's sleeping. Rupert gets a rocking horse, and Bruce gets a boat. When Santa's sack is empty, Santa and his helpers climb into the sleigh, and Papa Bear cracks his whip, and off they go to take Santa home. And when they get to Santa's house, what a lovely surprise is waiting for them. Mrs. Santa has cooked a Christmas dinner with lots of turkey and plum pudding and special fish for Stuart Seal and Katie Kitten, and crunchy carrots for the rabbits and juicy corn for Patrick. They all got what they like. After dinner, they gather around the biggest Christmas tree you ever saw. There are presents for all, and then there are balloons to blow and games to play. My, what a party. Before they leave, they peek in at the 6 little reindeer, all tucked up in bed and sniffling. Merry Christmas, they call, and the reindeer call, Merry Christmas. They got bad colds. Then they all pile into the sled, Papa Bear and Mama Bear and 2 baby bears, Cuddly Bunny and his 3 bunny sisters, Patrick Pig and Katie Kitten, Dennis Dog, and Stuart Seal, and Richard Raccoon and Esmeralda Ostrich. Papa Bear cracks his whip, and off they go in their one-horse open sleigh. And do you know the song they sing? There's a song. Should we sing it?
Yes.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha, bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey.
Hey! Good night.